Hello, Fearless Gamers, and welcome to another podcast here on Fearless Games. I'm Matt the Vet, and today I'm joined by...
The Stark Lord.
Yes, we did it at the same time.
What people don't know, we haven't got the, with the Fearless video up yet. The Wild Card and the Stark Lord have finally figured out how to do the fusion dance correctly.
Yes.
Yes.
It's been good. Though it's nice to be a couple inches taller, not gonna lie.
It's been many a year.
Yeah.
Training diligently.
Yes.
It's a hard dance.
It really is. It's that last little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Though it really helped with it was the Dance of the Two Dragons, which I learned from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
And before we started this podcast, we had a very interesting conversation about Outlaw Star.
Yes, it did.
In case anyone else is, because I think it's an interesting point for any of those guys out there who do watch those crazy stuff like we do. In the show, there was the caster gun, and we just made an interesting note to one of the caster shells. The number 4 caster shell creates, like, black holes, so you're dead. You're dead no matter what you do. Even the dudes that say they can't be killed by caster guns are killed by number 4 shells. And the Stark Lord just remembered the fact that the number 4 has an affiliation with death in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know how I never picked up on that until just now. Our Japanese professor would slap all of us for being so dumb.
Yeah, she'd go, "Why you no pay attention?"
Yeah, no, she would. She would.
Yep.
I would say Fujimoto-sensei would never say that, but no, she would yell at us.
No, she would.
Yeah.
Well, no, she probably wouldn't yell at us, but she'd make us feel real bad.
Good point.
Yeah. She wasn't a yeller.
No, I suppose not.
I don't know much about Takahata-sensei. I've never had her.
Nor did I.
Yes. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Acceptable.
Cool. I'm a little excited. I was surfing the webs, and I saw this cool thing for the new Star Wars X-Wing game. You guys by now have heard about the new wave of starships coming out, the E-Wing, the X-Wing prototype, the TIE Defender, and the Phantom Titan, right? Phantom TIE, right?
Of course. Yes. I heard everything about this.
Those.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, you
Yes,
do,
you do.
considering you were told it from us before.
Yeah, I was.
He's just being a jerk. Because he's a Stark.
Starks are jerks.
Well, I found on the interwebs this, that there's a tournament coming out in May. This special, raid on a certain, planet, I forget the name of it. And it's a standard 100-point X-Wing tournament, but with a twist. At the very end of the, tournament, the top 2 players who are competing for first place, they take their armies and they put them aside. The Imperial players given the 2 new Imperial vessels, and the Rebel players given the 2 Rebel vessels. They pick which ship they want out of the 4 that are available from those ships, and then they build the rest of their army up to 100 points using the stuff they brought, and that's the fleet they battle with. First place winner gets to pick one of the 4 ships to take home. Second place gets second pick, third place gets third pick, fourth place gets fourth pick of the ships that were there. And so these 4 people get to walk home with one of the new ships about a month or 2 before they come out. But knowing Fantasy Flight's probably going to be like 3 or 4 months. What I really like is I found it, I posted it on our local YouTube, our local Facebook community, and our local gaming store will be running it.
Which local gaming store? We have 2.
Grim.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So, I'll be down for that, because I want to see if I can win.
Yeah, so everyone that lives in this area that listens to this, go to Brothers Grimm in Center Reach, and kick the vet's butt so he can't win.
There you go. That's motivation right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could sit there and go, woo, I beat some random dude who thinks he's somebody on the internet.
That is what they will say in verbatim.
Yes, just like that.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
The Hellbrute has finally come out with the Crimson Slaughter Codex.
Yay!
It's about time we got a nice looking dreadnought. I don't care what anybody says. It's still a Chaos Dreadnought to me.
It is.
Are there separate rules for it as a dreadnought, or what? Because I don't know.
The thing is, the Hellbrute is just replaced.
The Hellbrute is Chaos Dreadnought.
Oh, so it's just instead of a dreadnought thing in there.
Yeah, well, it's Hellbrute.
Well, no, it's basically the fluff behind it. Haven't you read the book?
No, I have not read the Chaos book.
Well, it's a Hellbrute. What it is when the dude in a dreadnought gets put into a dreadnought on the Chaos side, eventually his flesh merges with the dreadnought and turns it into a Hellbrute.
Right, like those dudes, those crazy.
Like the Obliterators.
Sort of like the Obliterators.
Yeah. And the Mutilators, which are
there is a data sheet coming out, and from the previews that Black Library has posted, we've got the impression that one of the data slates is 1 to 3 Hellbrutes, and this data slate allows them to deep strike.
That'd be cool, considering that they're demonic and they can do that.
And the fact that then that would be so nasty for Chaos to have.
It will be.
It'll be. Hey, a bunch of Hellbrutes armed with multi-meltas? Oh, that's a Land Raider. Deep strike.
Isn't that
it would be nice for like the 1 in 5 times it actually works out in the Chaos player's favor. Because that's how Deep Strike rolls. It's 1 in 5 chance of you actually getting what you want. But
when I had my scatter die, one person at the gaming store has stole it accidentally and has never been back to the gaming store, but he knows he has it. Since I've been using everyone else's scatter die, I have no luck. And I can't find a scatter die. No store that I've gone to sells them.
They don't sell them by themselves. They sell them with a pack of dice.
Yeah.
The only way I found them is buying the Games Workshop gem dices. And I'm like, oh, I don't have $20.
Well, that's really the only way you're going to get it, because it's their die. That is their own dice that they made up for scattering for their game. So nobody else is really going to make it. Unless you go to Chessex and get a custom make where it's similar but not exactly the same, so you don't get sued.
There's so many war games that need those, and not enough random ones that just exist.
It's funny, because I always thought, because of how generic it looked, that it was a generic one.
No, that's their sign, I think.
Yeah, that just shows how much I pay attention to it.
But like, need of scatter die for like every game.
Hey, there's a new Swanish dice case.
Yeah. But
there's a set of dice that's all Slanishy.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the Chaos. Well, they call it the Slanish dice pack, but it's just a black case with like white pearl dice.
Yeah,
and
it's about time that they actually figured out that they could do that.
And then they have Chaos Dice Cube, which is Chaos. It's the same thing, but it's red, clear green, like granite blue, and pearl white. The one for each of the Chaos Gods.
Okay, I'm
it's just about time that they decided, hey, our dice cubes, we can make them have symbols of our factions and sell dice.
Well, they don't have symbols on them. But
they do. They got the Chaos symbol on the dice cube.
Oh, on the dice cube, okay.
Yeah, on the dice cube they can do that and go, hey, buy this dice thing. And people will, because they're like, I like Chaos, I'll buy this. So
I
it's about time that they
Chaos symbol. You know, you're right.
But, and now they're selling the Apocalypse templates separate from each other.
Good.
That is actually a good idea, because sometimes, they're big enough you can break them, or you can lose one, or you
it's weird, it's the old ones, it's not the new ones.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the pre-orders.
The pre-orders?
I'm just looking at the prices. So Shadow Sun's First Strike Assault Hunter Cadre, which is, I guess they're doing some with Damocles. Yeah, they're doing the Damocles again.
Yep.
It's $1,881.
Of course, but look,
it only comes with 2 Riptides.
Only 2 Riptides, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hammerheads.
6 Hammerheads, 8 Devilfish, a ton of Fire Warriors, Shadow Sun, 4 Flyers,
9 battle suits, 6
stealth
suits.
Oh god.
So, I mean, it's
read the bottom.
definitely...
And 2 Pathfinder squads.
Yeah. Oh, it only has
definitely
3
out there.
hammerheads. It has 3 hammerheads and 3 sky rays. Oh, no.
Yeah, but basically it's...
But you can turn them into hammerheads.
Classically, unless they've changed it, the Skyray pack had everything to make a hammerhead, so it never made sense back in the day to buy a hammerhead, because you just buy the Skyray model and you get both anyways.
Let's take a look at the...
Well, now they should be saying kit.
Hammerhead,
there should be no
yes.
difference between the kits.
There's no Skyray kit anymore. It's all it's all together. So they're just saying you can. I guess the formation uses 3 Skyrays, but
no,
you turn it into.
They just said it that way, so it sounds like you're getting something extra when you're just getting 6 of the same thing, which is not a bad thing at all.
Or maybe it's just to confirm that it's not just the hammerhead bit. It's also the Skyray bit.
Yeah.
But it's only enough to make 3 Skyrays.
You're getting 8 of them. In that
doesn't matter. You're still getting a ton of tanks.
You have 6, I should say. You're getting 6 of them and 8 devilfish. You're getting the kit. It's not overpriced. It's a lot of money, but it's definitely going to be giving you a discount in the long run if you ever need to pick up an
if you never wanted to buy anything else for your Tau again.
Yeah, no, this basically covers your Tau, because how many? You have 12 boxes of Fire Warriors. That's 144 Fire Warriors.
You don't need any more.
You're good. You're good.
And if you do, you're doing it wrong.
And 20 Pathfinders.
If you're not doing 20 Pathfinders, you're doing it wrong.
That's 20 marker lights.
Just with them.
Potentially.
That makes things go boom. I mean, I don't like marker lights at all.
You should love marker lights.
Which, speaking of, I got a random question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's weird that marker lights cause flying monstrous creatures to do crash tests?
No, I don't at all. That's why they always tell you not to use those laser pointers at airports.
Yeah.
It's the same logic. Oh God, I've been blinded.
I always thought it was kind of weird because it's supposed to be because I believe originally it said if they take a hit, like it always says if it takes a hit, and roll before you roll damage.
Yeah, and
but a marker light doesn't do damage, so...
But they do a hit. So as the rules are written, they do a hit, so you make a test.
Yeah. Well, no, like I'm saying, it always says I'm just saying, like, in the book, I believe it says you roll it before the damage is rolled.
Yeah,
but the marker light doesn't do the damage. It's
okay,
weird.
though, because it's a weapon that's shooting that isn't capable of wounding, so a damage die would be a failure anyway. So it's just doing the crash, as far as it's written right now, which is fine, and I can see Pathfinders going, get him in the eye.
Yeah. It really just, you have to go in a logical flowchart. Step 1, if player gets hit, you roll for this. After that, then you roll for damage. So there's no damage, so you just do step 1, roll for hit, there's a hit. Yeah, add somewhere. Since they're a hit, you have to make the roll. The other part is irrelevant because it doesn't pop up with that type of weapon.
You know, like, I honestly really don't care. I mean, I don't have really any flyers. I don't play Tyranids or demons. I just always found it a little weird. That's all.
Well, also, like we said, it's just you totally shined a laser in their eye.
Yeah.
And that's
they went, dude, that hurt. What's wrong with you?
I can't see.
So they're like, you're very inconsiderate in this battlefield. What's wrong with you?
Hey, you are rude, and that was totally uncalled for.
Someone never to tell you not to shine a light in people's eyes when they're trying to do something. I just wanted to kill you guys. What the heck?
And the Crimson Slaughter is now officially out, and I'm shocked that everyone's still complaining about that it's not World Bearers when they can easily just
the World Eaters?
World Bearers. The World Eaters, yeah. Where they could just easily make it World Eaters.
I don't even know what we're talking about. I haven't been...
The Crimson Slaughter, the war band that was introduced in Dark Vengeance, fighting the Dark Angels, they got their own codex. And they're Khorne worshippers.
Yeah.
So the internet was ablaze with why didn't they just make it the World Eaters? And the other argument, which I kind of agree with, is why don't you just use the codex and say they're World Eaters?
Yeah, until they give you one.
I mean, how many people have taken the Space Wolves and said they're Deathwing because they like their rules for Terminator squadrons better?
Yeah, and
how many
people
have taken White Scars?
That's all it is.
Yeah, and how many people have taken White Scars and turned them into Ravenwing? You know, we've done this.
Taken anything and turned it's all. It's just you just got to take it and roll with it. And the Crimson Slaughter is just a supplement. And really, what I'm more kind of shaking my head at in sadness is that people are still complaining about the Legion of the Damned supplement.
The fact that it's not a full army?
No, the fact that they say it's ridiculously overpowered because they ignore cover saves, the entire army must deep strike, and they're slow and purposeful. And I think they have an invulnerability save because they're like representing these astral things. But they're not. It's like, here's the deal with cover saves. Okay?
Almost everything ignores them.
The armies that don't need cover saves end up being in cover, a la Space Marines with their Devastator and whatnot. The armies that tend to need cover are the ones that tend to have to get up close anyway, so they're either out of cover or they're moving slowly through cover and they have a small
Eldar and
in cover. Like Imperial Guard, they're going to have some cover, but really, ignoring cover isn't that groundbreaking of a rule for an army.
Line of sight, if anything, like, that's more annoying to me than ignore cover. Like, there are some things where I'm just like, there are some things where I don't get why it ignores cover, but I'm more ticked when I'm fighting something that ignores line of sight than ignores cover.
Well, yeah, because the biggest thing you gotta do against armies that must follow line of sight is hide.
Yeah.
But,
which is almost every army. I think the only one that doesn't have that issue is Tau for the most part, because of those seeker missiles.
Well, they're short range though. There's a couple of little weapons in a couple of armies that can go without line of sight, and it's okay.
Yeah,
And there's plenty of like artillery weapons that do it. But the thing is like there was a big uproar with Legion of Dan saying, "Really, you put all these rules together in these one guys?" And the thing is, it's not like you're going to have the biggest army in the world. And
aren't they just like a couple of troop choices in an HQ?
No, they're a squad that's in the book already. I don't own the Legion of Dan book, so I don't know if there's actually any entries in that book, or it just takes the Legion of Dan stuff in the generic Space Marine Codex and says use this. I'm not sure, with some added rules, but the ability for an entire army that must deep strike because you have no other option is not really groundbreaking. I played against that for the longest time when Chaos Demons came out. I mean,
yeah,
and people don't do anything anyway. Because here's the deal with having the deep strike. Okay,
you can't assault.
No, not even that. If I'm the army that's not deep striking, and I have to set up knowing that the army I'm playing against must deep strike, well, I don't have to worry about setting up to repel a specific, let's say, artillery piece or whatnot. I can set up with the intent of area denial, because they still have to follow the rules of deep strike. Now, I can even just set up castle or turtle it a little bit, let them deep strike, and then just blow them to obliteration.
Yeah, because it counts as their movement.
They ignore cover. Okay, so assault them. Now that's all moot. I mean, they're slow and purposeful. Yeah. And the thing is, they can deep strike, so they can get up close and personal, but they're slow and purposeful, so they easily go, hey, watch this, bye guys.
And also, because they're slow and purposeful, they can't overwatch.
Right, but it's just, I don't know what other rules they may have, but it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. But there was a huge uproar. There was like an atom bomb went off for like the week it came out, and there's still like some reverberations of that, and it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, they ignore cover. Ooh, they're slow and purposeful. Ooh, they deep strike. Ooh, you know what I had more of a problem with? Facing Thousand Suns in the prior edition of the Chaos Space Marine Codex with the AP3 bolters. Okay?
Yeah.
That was more of a problem for me because they had an invulnerability save, and they had those, and they had psychic powers to back it up, and it made it kind of hard for Space Marines to get up close. I mean,
like I said, that all of your problems are solved by assaulting because they have nothing to really stop that.
Yeah,
like I said, they can't overwatch because slow.
But it's still not the biggest deal.
Because like slow and purposeful prevents them from overwatching, so they're not going to gun down your Howling Banshees before they get there, and then they just start ripping them apart with uber numbers of attacks.
Maybe. The Legion of Dan, they still have the Legion of Dan entry, so I believe the armor save and vulnerability save as well. So, but it's still, the idea is, this is the opposite of the Thousand Suns. The Thousand Suns said, hey, if you're an elite-style army, you're going to be in trouble because of our bolters. This is saying, hey, Horde, we're going to make you do things. It's call me crazy, but it's the specialty of that force. It's like complaining Tau has... It'd be like complaining Tau with marker lights. Well, that's not fair. Well, call me crazy, but that's what they do. It's like,
and again, you kill the scouts, they lose their marker lights.
The Pathfinders lose them. But it's just, do can easily outmaneuver something that's slow. Deathwing armies can outmaneuver something that's slow. I mean, and really, cover.
Like I said, in this edition, cover is kind of useless.
It still has its merits, but it's not like it was in the previous edition.
Yeah, it's not your I'm going to survive this round.
It's funny because you have like atomic bomb explosion on that supplement. You got the Crimson Slaughter explosion on that supplement, but you got people falling in love with the Imperial Knights. It's such a weird deck.
Yeah,
it's like, wait a minute. There's a lot, like in the Sea of Anger, there's this island of this love, and it's for these Imperial Knights.
Which, from what I've read, their codex isn't too bad. It is a little crummy that they only have the 2 entries, but like
when you're gigantic.
Yeah, but like the chart that gives them separate abilities, like reduces their weapon skill if they're a trainee, improves their armor save by 3 if they're a veteran. Like they've got some pretty cool things going on for them.
Yeah,
and
but it's just like. If you laid out the supplements and the Imperial Knights Codex and all this stuff coming out, I would have said I would expect a lot of people to have a bunch of pushback against the Imperial Knights, in all honesty, because of what they are and how big they are and what they represent. I thought more people would be like, this is totally not cool, my Eldar are going to get slaughtered, my Orcs are going to go, what's going on? You know, but instead of that, you got people going, I must marry this book. And it's really weird.
I was very odd when I read everyone going, it's surprisingly balanced. I was like, wait. You mean the book with the Strength D close combat weapons in a 40k game you think is balanced?
Surprisingly.
Explained.
Yeah, which it is. It's a very balanced book, but it's just surprising because I expected people to go, Imperial Knights...
It's broken.
End of story, game over, nobody's going to play anything else.
Because before they came out, that's what everyone was saying. It's got a D weapon, it's so broken, it's got this, it's so broken. Then the Codex came out and was like, actually, it's fairly balanced.
It's a nice thing.
My only problem with it is that the Codex is $75 and your basic unit is $140.
Yeah.
Like, well, then again, it's like your whole army is like 3 models, right?
Yeah, but I mean...
Yeah, 3 to 6 models.
That's my biggest problem with that and all
I might have to play this army. Only because
I'm highly tempted.
Not because they're cool, but because I just want an army of less than 6 models.
I want to get at least 1 for my Imperial to make a Mechanicum Loyal Knight.
Yeah. I just think I like the concept of the Knights that they really broaden with them, but
with the Knights better.
And with the supplements, my biggest beef is the price of the books for the Knights. Now, the Knight is you could say, well, it's a full-blown codex for itself, whatever, kind of, sort of, whatever. The supplements are the price of codices just about, and the supplements.
Yeah.
And that's... it's not Games Workshop's only thing. We look back to D&D. We look to other games that when you have a book that's kind of an expansion book or supplemental, you're paying a premium for it. It's just the way that rolls. It's not a GW-specific problem. It's a nerd-specific problem that needs to get fixed.
It's this market problem. It's a market problem.
It's how do they keep making money off of the game? And they do that by making splat books.
Yep.
Yeah, but you don't need a $50 splat book.
Yeah, the problem is the books are way too expensive, you're right.
And what I love is how they go, well, buy them on ebooks, they're cheaper.
In all honesty, that's not just them. That's the tactic right now. Companies push that.
Yep, and then I like how it's a dramatic price change from the interactive edition to the non-interactive edition.
Yeah, but I will say this though.
Oh, wait! In GW's defense, the supplements are 50 cents less.
There you go. But it doesn't matter though, because in all honesty,
you're only going to buy the supplement you want.
Right, and I like the idea of supplements coming out. When they first came out, I was concerned. When they first were announced, I was concerned with the idea of, well, the whole thing that we're getting away from was having rules and having stuff on other books. But the way they're doing it, which is really, it's just no stat line differences, I like. So the way they're going about it works very well, and it really they're able to put out a codex that covers the wide variety of stuff, and then put out supplements that are more specific to certain players' tastes. Like there's the Imperial Fist supplemental book if you want to play that, and there's a lot of Imperial Fist fans out there. So now they can be even more yellow with this book.
What I like is also they haven't gone too crazy with it. Like when the Farsight Enclave was announced, I was like, wait, but Farsight's in the Tau book. So are you telling me I'm going to get a Deathwing supplement? Are you going to tell me I'm going to get supplements for stuff I can already run with the book I have?
The Farsight one did make sense. Now, I will say...
I'm saying, like, it makes sense after it came out. I'm talking about when they were like, coming soon!
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
but here's the deal with
what?
That. I still say, if it is freaking said Farsight makes suits, troop choices, as much as I like the Enclave and adds the cool 8 and adds some cool war gear specific for Farsight, as much as that's cool, if they just said in the regular Tau book that Farsight unlocks battlesuits as troop choices, and they must take a battlesuit troop choice as a troop choice for,
like Danielle and Belial.
Yeah, you wouldn't have needed the entire...
You wouldn't have needed the book, and I would have been just as happy without the Enclave supplement. But they didn't do that, and the Farsight Enclave came out, which is why I thought that was way out of left field when it first was announced. As much as I enjoy it, I own it, I like it, because I like battlesuit troop choices. But if they just did that in the Codex, they could have done a different Tau sept, because they have a bunch of Tau septs that they talk about in the book. Some of them are fairly interesting that would be nice to be fleshed out a bit more. Or they could have done Tau auxiliaries, and that would require actual rules, or at least expanding upon what's in that book, which isn't much. But for what they're going with, they could have just done a different Tau sept, or done, I don't know, Shadow Sun. I would have liked the Shadow Sun book, just because Farsight's real big difference is that there's battlesuit heavy, but Shadow Sun, it could have made it more unique. That could have been something, to unlock, let's say, stealth suit troop choices or something like that through through a supplement. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
But that didn't work that way.
Here's something interesting. I know we guys don't like to talk about this much on the channel, but I thought this was cool. There's supposedly another knight rumored to be coming out from Forge World, the Knight Lancer.
Oh, I heard about that. The idea of they might make the variant.
It's a small version that supposedly takes up the fast attack slot, and it's got a fist with a flamer and a cannon. I would assume a lance cannon of some sort, because it's called the Knight Lancer.
Well, yeah, but it's I heard about that, because the Knight Lancer has been an established knight in the fluff before this ever was announced. So having it come would be cool, and if it's done through Forge World, if it's done through Forge World, whatever. I would have preferred it through GW, just because it makes it easier to buy overall. But,
if the rumors of the Forge World stuff are true, then we shouldn't have a problem.
No, still though, like in your local gaming store. You know what I mean? Like if you don't want to order online, like to support your brick and mortar store, it's sometimes it can be a bit of a pain when something's Forge World, because not every single one's going to carry. If they do, they carry the big things, like something specific that they don't even carry it necessarily. They kind of order it and then they decide to sell it. But looking at the supplements that have come out and everything announced, what one makes the least sense to me?
Which one?
The Black Legion supplement. Now, hear me out. The Black Legion is the Chaos equivalent of the Ultramarines. They can do everything. They're very big and broad in that respect, like the Ultramarines. Why give them that would be like giving the Ultramarines a supplement, going, okay, here's the Ultramarine supplement. And you could give Deteriorated Hunters, sure, or whatever, but I don't know what's in the Black Legion supplemental book, but seriously, when you look at the codices, they have all 4 gods units in their armies all the time. So why?
I thought that their big thing was they got I thought their biggest thing was they got the Abaddon's generals back.
I don't know. They might have done something like that. There are warlord traits and chaos artifacts that I guess would be specific to their armories, because they hoard them. But it's just the Black Legion, when you look at the Black Legion, they're billed as the Ultramarines of the Chaos Book, because that's what they are in a nutshell. I mean, it's a very big generalization, but that's how it works.
It's essentially the dudes that believe that Abaddon is the rightful heir to Horus's empire and that he will finish what Horus started.
Yeah, it's just that it's the Black Legion. It's the big bad legion of Horus, and they can do everything because they have all 4 Chaos Gods kind of invest in them a little bit. And it's like the Ultramarines. They can do anything because they're the Ultramarines. They wrote the book on space.
They wrote the book on being a Space Marine.
Literally wrote the book on it. But
and no one follows it.
Well, plenty follow it a lot. A lot follow it. Even the Blood Angels and the Dark Angels follow it to a degree in terms of tactics and formations for certain units. The only ones that really say screw that is Space Wolves, because they can't read anyway. But,
that is true. Speaking of,
sorry, I was just going to say that the Codex Astartes is very big on adaptability, which is why the Ultramarines are in love with it and all that crap. That's all I was going to say.
And you know what's funny? When you look at the Space Wolves, and you compare them to the Chaos Codices of each generation of those books coming out, they're very similar. Their Wolf Guard are like the Chosen. They've always been like that. And it's you're looking at like a loyalist Chaos book without the gods. It's just funny because they haven't been taken up by the Inquisition yet.
Yeah.
That was one thing with that. I actually got inspired recently.
You say you're going to paint up some Space Wolf army, I'm going to punch you through this podcast.
No, I would, as you once said, I would never sully my brushes by painting a Space Wolf's army. I may paint 1 or 2 for decorative reasons, so my Thousand Sons have something to kill, but I would never paint an army.
I did do that when I was painting up, it was like the Spike Trophy stuff, and I painted up every Space Marine head as a Space Wolf head, because it was a Thousand Son army. But
nice. Side note: I'm looking at a review of this Imperial Knight Codex and these knights. If I had the side money right now, I would get these guys and just make a detachment of like 4 of them and go.
They're cool.
They are. I don't love the model though. I want a better model.
The model, the certain heads on them look cool.
Yeah.
I don't like those skull faces. I like the knight head.
Exactly.
I like
there's one that's got the cross face to it, with got kind of that space down the center. I like that one.
Yeah, that's the knight head.
The one non-knight head I like is the Mechanicum symbol head.
That one's pretty cool.
Let me look at these again.
It's like, what is this? I can just picture the Mechanicum going, how are we gonna what face am I gonna put on this thing? Look over. It's our symbol.
The Mechanicum head is good, and then the 2 standard knight masks are good. The one that's like you said, the skull one, the one that looks like an idealized skull, isn't as good.
Yeah, the iron hands ones or whatever they're supposed to be. The silver skulls or something.
No, that's still Space Marines. I have no idea what it's supposed to be.
But
yeah, I think I have to play some of these dudes.
I was inspired recently. I was talking to a guy at the Grim, because that's what you do sometimes when there's no games to be played. And I was inspired to when supposedly the timetable for the Horus Heresy books is that this winter we should be getting the book with Magnus the Red in it and Russ and all that jazz. I want to get together all the Chaos players and all the Space Wolves players and reenact the Battle of the Fang.
The Battle of the Fang was a post-Heresy thing.
Yes, I know, but with the Horus Heresy books, you'd have rules for Magnus.
Right, but you would have to see, is this Magnus Chaos Ascended or Magnus not Chaos Ascended?
Oh, it's going to be probably regular Magnus, but still, it would be cool just to have a Primarch.
You know what's... I'm interested to see this next book, because if all things pan out and it's Space Wolves and Thousand Sons, I'm really hoping it's Sisters of Silence and Custodian Guard are the other 2 legions, if you will, there, because that would be the Battle of Prospero, and
that was the rumor.
That was all that was there in the Battle of Prospero was Space Wolves, Custodian Guard, Sisters of Silence, and Thousand Suns. And that would be my hope, because I really, if Custodian Guard get an army, like a rule to be their own army, I'm making them. End of story, because I love the idea of gold everywhere. But,
And the Stark Lord will be happy he'll have something to add to his sisters.
They're a different kind of sisters, though I do love the Sisters of Silence.
No, they'll be
their
cool
sisters
models to add, though, because
they have words. Yeah, they'd be resin.
That would be nice. They really need to fix the Sisters of Battle.
They won't.
They just need to make them.
They gave you a new codex. What more do you want from that?
The codex is fine. I would like new models, maybe, please.
Yeah,
what
right?
more do you want from them?
That's why I don't play them anymore, because I'm tired of all the pewter.
Did you? I'm assuming everybody, well, not everybody, but I know at least the vet saw the Horus model that was coming out.
Yes.
And
I haven't.
It's cool looking.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's cool looking, but I'm gonna say this: I'm not necessarily impressed. Not because it's bad, but because it looks just like I expected Horus to look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we had such a well documentation of Horus that they captured it bang on, that as good as it looks, I'm not impressed, but in a good way.
The reveal is lacking of luster.
Yeah, because it looks just like he should look. There's nothing wrong.
They're
perfect.
just like, oh, he's so perfect.
Whatever.
Wow, he's perfect.
Basically, like
We've had so many pictures of him before that there's like no interpretation.
And and this is definitely Horus post. This is him. They're not going to do multiple models, I don't think, because looking at the model they did of Horus, this is him.
Get corrupted, did he? Like,
he never really got
corrupted, but he didn't really like get morphed or anything.
No, he just got angrier. But he looks great, and the fact that he looks great looks just like he should look. I'm not like, when I saw Angron, I was like, wow. I've seen Angron drawn, but they really captured him really well. They did better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
That was kind of like one of the reasons why I picked up Fulgrim, because I was just like, holy crap. Yeah, he looks awesome. I need to own him.
Right. And as nice as Horus looks, he looks like he should. And that's why I can't explain it. But
okay, finally got this stupid thing to work. Okay.
I'm trying to find the damn picture.
I got the picture here. It's on I posted it on the Facebooks.
Yeah, you did.
So,
can you put it in a Skypey thing?
I'm going to. Give me a second.
You're taking too long. Picture. Oh my god.
I'm on a very slow computer.
I found it.
I got it. Here it is. And boom, there you go.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Anyone who wants to take a look, check out our Facebook page. It's right up
there. Well,
yeah,
no, it looks exactly like Horus.
How he should be.
How he should be. So
because he's on a Terminator stand, I think I'm going to use him to represent my Abaddon if I ever use Abaddon in a 40k army.
And he looks great.
He's taller, yes, but he's on a Terminator stand.
Yeah, and he looks great, but it's just that's the way he should look, and therefore I'm not that impressed by it in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, like, he's always depicted in his Terminator armor. He's never, like, the other ones all have these really cool armors going on, and Horus is just, like, we've seen his armor 100 times, and, yeah.
Yeah, his armor was custom made by the Fabricator General of Mars that went traitor. So his armor is the pinnacle of what Terminator armor should have been. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, before he had this armor, he had before he got this armor, it was when they were Luna Wolves. So his armor was silvery white, but I don't know if you don't really explain if it was Terminator-y or power armor-y, and we're never going to know because they went with this classic armor, of course. But that was just like that was only in the Horus Heresy novels, and it was only there. It was never really fully described. It was just said how it was white. So a lot of people think it was just white Terminator-looking armor like what he has now. But then when he had his fall, and he made a pact with the Fabricator General of Mars, he was given this like armor handmade by the dude who runs Mars himself, and that's what that is. A little bit of background, and it looks great, but there's nothing. I can't say anything more. Like it's just it's ours. Moving on.
Yeah,
really,
I mean, it's like,
I don't want to.
I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, yeah, that is exactly how he always looks. Great job.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
they captured him
it's nothing
well.
Mean, it's nothing against the sculptor. He did a fantastic job, but it's just, we've seen him so many times, and there is a model for him. It's going to be the same thing when they do Sanguinus. I'm going to go, that's Sanguinus.
Yeah.
I've seen him so many times. The ones I'm really looking forward to is going to be, of course, Magnus and the Lion, because I like them. But the ones I'm really looking forward to, for sure, because you don't really see much about them, is going to be Guilliman, whatever it is, Robo Guilliman, I always say his freaking
Robo
name.
Guilliman.
Robo Gorin?
No, the Ultramarine Primarch. Robo
Gulliman?
Yeah, Gulliman, Guilliman. He's French. His name is French. So
Guilliman.
But that was terrible.
That's how you say French names.
No,
when you don't know how to pronounce them.
I hate you.
You just add a little ho at the end.
You're definitely not my friend anymore.
What is this?
I'm your only friend, so you can't afford to lose me. What? Yes. Lumiere.
I'm really looking forward to the Ultramarine Primarch just because he's the one who got those fists, but he had a whole bunch of weapons he always used, so what they give him with is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm also really interested to see Perturbo, because he's also very much in Terminator armor, and he's very utilitarian, so how are they going to make him cool?
I assume it's going to be, like, heavy and bulky looking, though.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if the rumor about Magnus and Russ is going to be true, because if that is, then I might just have to pick up the Russ model.
The dueling rumor?
Yes, supposedly the guy that made the Fulgrim and Manus model is doing both of them, and he said he's contemplated doing the same diorama kit thing with them.
I hope to do it again for someone.
It's the perfect one to do with. Here's my problem with the Fulgrim Ferrus Manus. They're supposed to be put together as a diorama of them fighting, right?
Yeah.
If you want to, yes.
However, in the rules when they fight, he can't have the hammer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is the dumbest thing ever. Just give him his hammer. Why you gotta make him even lose? Well, he did have a weapon when he fought.
The fluff says he just has a regular hammer. He lost the They give it a different hammer. Then they say because
no, it just says he doesn't have. It says remove that war gear, and he gets less. And it's actually I have the book right behind me. I don't know what I'm guessing.
I was about to say, didn't we give it to you?
Yeah, but I actually took it back to school with me. The 2 Horus Heresy books because they're too cool not to have in close proximity.
And you want to look intellectual when people come into your room and see them on your bookshelf.
Yes, I want to look intellectual with the sci-fi.
Well, you put the spines there, and it looks like, oh, you study the Horus Heresy. I'm not quite familiar with that time period.
The death of Ferrus Manus. If you're using the campaign, you're doing the whole battle where he dies, basically. Mm-hmm. That mission, Ferrus Manus is no longer in possession of Forgebreaker, and so his point cost is reduced. So he has nothing in his place. He just has his hands. Which, one thing I wish that, as much as I like his rules, I liked what the fans did for Ferrus Manus rules, which made his hands basically Dreadnought close combat weapons. Because they're little metal hands.
Yeah. He was supposed to be able to, shape and craft things with his hands.
Yeah, he didn't need a forge, he just crushed it in his hand to shape it. But, he did obviously have a forge, but that's the only thing I don't like it. When those models came out and there were diorama pieces, and it was cool. And then I saw the rules and I went, what? That's no fair. Give him something. But
nope, he's not allowed. He fought with his fist.
I'm curious to see Magnus and Russ and Ferrus and Magnus and Red to see if we're going to get the Battle of the 80s hairbands.
Magnus did have epic hair.
They both had epic hair.
Ferrus, and the Lion has some pretty epic hair too, but he wore a helmet.
Yeah, he kept that. He knew that the other dudes were having a competition that he would win, and he just did it for their sake.
But the 2 hairband guys are definitely Leon Russ and Magnus and Red, and I'm really curious to see if they're going to give them the plumage that they have in the pictures.
The rocking 80s hair that would make any 80s band jealous.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus and Red has a freaking plume. And
doesn't Russ have like a mullet type of thing?
Russ has the most epic mullet of all time because it's not really a mullet, but it kind of gives you the feel because it's not shaved on the sides, it's not short in the front. He's feral looking. And the lion has a lion's mane, so that's going to be interesting to give him that. But it's just, I really want to see Leman Russ have the, oh my god, he's from the 80s look. Like, I want his hair to be that difficult to paint because it's everywhere. Like,
epic hair is everywhere.
I'm just
like
looking
perfect hair forever.
I'm looking forward to just seeing all the Primarch models. Once they have them all out, I'll pick the ones I like.
Yeah,
we all know you're getting Korax.
If Korax looks cool.
Oh, he's gonna
I'm getting
cool.
him.
He's gonna look cool.
What do you mean if he looks cool?
He'll
It's like
cool.
saying if the Raven Guard are good at stealthing around.
It's true. I really am interested in what they're gonna do for Alfarius and.
I am too, because
There was a rumor for a while, no, never mind. What I always said is what I wanted to do is get it where they're posed in such a way that if they're lined up one behind the other and you look straight at them, they look like one model.
With Alfarius and
that'd be cool.
What's the other name? Omegon? Omegon?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Omegon.
That's why it was not like say
People
they're
say
like posed
Omicron.
in such say they're just posed in such a way that when they're sort of like that rock trick in the Labyrinth where it looks like a face, but then the camera pans, it's just a bunch of rocks that conveniently, when lined up right, look like a face.
Honestly, that
I want
sounds...
that kind of a look.
They don't need to do that. The thing is, like, even with the old rules for them, it was always like, just replace them with two regular-looking guys, because they wore regular-looking armor.
Well, they could still wear regular-looking armor, but I would think that would look cool if they looked like one dude when looked at just right.
I don't know. I'm interested to see if they're going to get really creative with it, or just not even make models for them, because that would make sense.
The interesting thing about them is they actually have their own actual specific armor of fanciness that they would wear and actually fight in sometimes. And then Omegon has a stealth armor. It's stealth Space Marine power armor. It doesn't trip landmines. It doesn't trip anything else. It doesn't appear in sensors in the books. Like he has,
the Raven Guard wish they had it.
Korax doesn't need that because he was invisible.
Yeah, Korax can make himself invisible to everybody if he wants to, without even cloaking. He's got obfuscate basically.
Yes, I have no idea where he got that, but it's all.
He's a vampire.
He kind of is a vampire.
Kinda, but it's really cool. But Omegon has stealth armor, and so if they put Omegon in his stealth armor, which is kind of a darker, almost black type of blue, and they give Alfarius the more embellished armor, they could do it that way. But what will be interesting is how big they're going to make them, because they were just a little bit bigger than the average Space Marine.
Yeah, so they shouldn't be as big as the rest of the Primarchs. It'd be a cool thing, whatever they do. I just hope it's cool.
And I don't know why. I guess because I'm looking at Imperial Knight. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. I actually just got MechWarrior Online back on my computer because I realized that I didn't have it installed on my computer for the longest time.
I haven't played that game in a while.
What's cool is this June, the clans are invading. So in this June, there's the clan invasion collection is coming. So you get to have clan mechs come, and it's really cool. You could buy them. You can buy one or all of them for a certain, price bundle, of course, plus other stuff. But that's coming out in June. I'm of course gonna get it because we're talking about me here. And they have announced a bunch of other mechs. There's a bunch of mechs in the game now. A lot of battle mechs. There's hero mechs, which is cool. They have a special loadout and whatnot. Champion mechs, which are just nothing special. And then you got 4 light mechs. You got 4 light mechs, 6 medium mechs, 6 heavy mechs, and 5 assault mechs in the game right now, and the game is free. So you got a lot to choose from.
I kept dying in that game so much I never earned money to buy anything but the standard mech that you start off with.
Yeah. So I did that. So I'm looking forward to playing that more so. And the Starkload knows this, but I got back into PlanetSide 2. I betaed the first PlanetSide. And PlanetSide 2 went free to play, and I forgot about it. And I saw it randomly on when I was surfing the web. I'm like, all right, that thing exists. So I decided to get back into it, and I'm sucking less than I did before. It's fantastic.
That's good.
Are you still crashing planes?
Oh, yes, of course. But that was the best tactic ever in PlanetSide, and I'm so glad it still works on PlanetSide 2. You fly around with the plane, when you get real damage, you point it towards where all the enemies is, you gun it, and then you bail out.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Win at all costs.
Yeah, the only thing that's annoying about the game, and it was kind of this way in PlanetSide 1, but the the anti-vehicle weapons, the anti-air, the anti-tank weapons were more potent in PlanetSide 1, and it was a bit easier to hit them with. I'll give you an example. The Max suit has an anti-air gun on it, basically a flat gun that it walks around with, and it has 28 shots or so before it reloads. I will unload into like the gunship and even like their fighters all rounds, and I'll get experience for damaging it, and I'll count as a kill assist so somebody else kills it, but it doesn't shoot down the plane. I have to reload. And that's the one thing that's kind of annoying in this game, is that, especially when you're the heavy assault guy who has the anti-tank rocket, that thing takes like 15 seconds to reload just about. At least it feels that long. Maybe it's 5. Still, that's ridiculously long to reload in combat. And you have to shoot like the battle tank, like all 4 rockets out of 5 that you have to kill it. That part's the annoying part, because I'll shoot it and then the guy within the tank is not going to just sit there. He's going to fire back and move. And I don't have the gun, mine doesn't lock on, so I'm screwed. So that's the only thing that gets annoying with it, but it's fun. It's free to play, but what can you ask for?
Yeah. Sadly, we are running out of time now on this podcast, so we're going to have to end it here. Are you people sad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Be sad!
Cry me a river.
Cry me a river. So, thank you all for listening in, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, this is Matt the Vet.
James the Wildcard.
And the Stark Lord.
Who's not sure if he's still called the Stark Lord. We have to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
He has to see a therapist. Saying, take care.
Peace.